Hello everyone, welcome back to Unleashed. My name is Matrix and I'm excited to have you here. On this channel, we break down C# programming from beginner to advanced level in a simple, practical and real world way. Whether you are new to programming, a student or a developer looking to sharpen your skills, this channel is for you. We will cover topics like C# fundamental, object-oriented programming, .NET and Leo project, best practice used in the industry. So my goal is to help you to understand, not to just memorize code, and to build the confidence you need to create a Leo application. If you are ready to unleash your programming skills, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's start coding together. Welcome to Unleashed. So let's launch. We are going to create a new project. We are using Visual Studio Code. So you are going to use the console app. So let's call it C#. We are using .NET. Don't need Docker files. So now we are creating a new project. You see, by default, it starts with console.writeLine hello world. So let's start by writing self. For writing your first code, there is a long-standing tradition among software developers to print the phrase hello world to the console output. So as you experience, you can learn a lot about programming in the C# language from this simple exercise. So now what you're going to do is to write our first line. We use this keyword console dot writeLine hello world. This is our first line of code. So you can position the browser window side by side so that you can refer to all these instructions while you are writing in this code editor. Let's run this C#. You see now, guys, hello world in this console. So now what you're going to do, I'm going to show you some more things that can be an issue if you type in a long way. Let's use, for example, console.writeLine hello Unleashed. So if we try to line this, but there is a correction. You see, this is an error when you write C. Let's try to learn this program. You will see. See, we get hello world, but you must get some errors like C# 0.10.3. So which means console, this console keyword does not exist in a C# current context. So this means C# is a case sensitive language, meaning that the C# compiler considers the word console and the console and the console with a capital letter has a different as the word cat and dog. Sometimes the error message can be a bit misleading. You will need to understand the true reason why the error exists, and that comes through learning more about C# syntax. So that's why I have it use capital letter instead of small letter. So now you can also try to write something like console.writeLine, use simple hello English. You see, I'm using a single quote, not a double quote. You see, this is the error. This is the error. So right, as you see, when you try to learn something, let's try to learn this project. Let's do no. You see, we get C# 1012 too many characters in character return. So for this you can use message as you investigate the problem. But what does the error message mean? What exactly is a character return? Later you will learn about literals of various data type, including character literals. For now, be careful when you are entering code. Errors are never permanent. You may report the error, fix it, and learn your code. So you can use double quotes. Let's move it here. Enriched. Now you see there is no issue, no error now. So what you are going to do now, I'm going to tell you the common mistake new programs or new programmers make. So entering lowercase letter instead of capitalizing C in console, or letter W or R in WriteLine. So entering comma instead of a period between console and WriteLine. So forgetting to use the double quotation marks or using single quotation marks to surround the phrase hello, for example, hello Enriched. And the other things is forgetting the semicolon at the end of the command. When you forget this, it became the issue. You have to add this. So each of these mistakes prevent your code from compiling successfully. Those mistakes that I'm telling you, it prevents your code to learn or from compiling successfully. So now what I'm going to show you is let's write something like console dot write hello world. Console dot write welcome to Enriched channel. You see guys, now I'm going to run this code. Let's see. You see, hello Enriched, welcome hello world, welcome to Unreached. You see the difference between console.write line and the console.write. Here, this line helps to start a new line. So the difference between the console.write and the console.write line. So you see, console.write line print a message to the output console. At the end of the line, it adds a line feed similar to pressing enter or return to create a new line. So to print the output console, but without adding a line feed at the end, use the second technique, this one, console.write. So the next call to console.write, print another line at the same line. So you see, there's a hello world, welcome to Unreached on the same line. Let's see. You see hello world. You see hello world. This one. Welcome to Unreached channel. This one. You see? But if we add something like line, it's going to start a new line. You see? Now there is a change. But if you see, there is a change. Hello world, welcome to Unreached channel. But if we bring it back here, you see, they are on the same line. When we add a line, this is going to make a new line instead of being on one line. You see now, guys. So, guys, this is what you have to know for the first reason of our program. So, the next, we are going to learn how this works. So, guys, now we are going to see or to learn how the code works. So to understand how your code works, you need to step back and think about what a programming language is. Consider how your code communicates commands to the computer. So first of all, what is a programming language? Programming language like C let you write instruction that you want the computer to carry out. So each programming has its own syntax, but after learning your first programming language and attempting to learn another one, you will quickly realize that they all share many similar concepts. A programming language's job is to allow humans to express their intent in a human readable and understandable way. The instruction you write in a programming language are called a source code or just a code. Software developers write code. At this point, a developer can update and change the code, but the computer can't understand the code. The code first must be compiled into a format that a computer can understand. So now, what is a compilation? So we have something that we call a compiler. A special program called a compiler converts your source code into different formats that a computer central processing unit can execute. When you use learn button or this one, it is like learn button. In a previous unit, as you have seen, the code you wrote was the code that you will write was first compiled, then executed. Let's try again. See, you compile, then execute the output. So Why does code need to be compiled? Although most programming languages seem cryptic at the first, they can be more easily understood by human than a computer-preferred language. The CPU understands instructions that are expressed by turning thousand or million things switches either on or off. It's like a 0 or 1. Compiler bridge these two words by translating your human readable instruction into computer understandable set of instruction. So now you can ask yourself, what is a syntax? As I told you, you must know programming language have a different syntax. So what is a syntax? Syntax is like the rule for writing code. In this C#, syntax is the rule for writing C# code, and just like human language have rules regarding punctuation, the sentences structure, computer programming language also have rules. Those rules define the keyword and the operators of C# and how they are put together to form programs. So when you write a code into the .NET editor like this Visual Studio, you may have noticeable through changes to the color of different words and symbols. Syntax writing is a helpful feature that you will begin to use easily. Spot a mistake in your code that don't conform to the syntax rule of C# or other programming language. So then how did the code you write work? So when you learn a code, you see the message "Hello Unleashed, welcome to our Unleashed YouTube channel." You see? So it is printed to this console as an output. So when the phrase is surrounded by double quotation marks, this one, double quotation marks, it is a literal string. In other words, the literal wanted is something like hello, HELL, hello, and so on, sent to the output. So this console, the console part, this console part is a class. So class is its own method. You will use many things like console.writeLine. You have to capitalize console.write and line. When you start to write a console, C must be capital, write W must be capital, and line L must be capital. So you have to use the correct punctuation because it has a special role in C#. And if you make a mistake, just spot it and fix it, then you relearn it. So it is important to understand the flow of execution. In other words, the code you write or code instruction that were executed was being executed in order, one line at a time, until where no more instruction to execute. Some instruction will require the CPU to wait before it can be continued. So other instruction can be used to change the flow of execution. So now let's test what you have learned in this course. You can start by exercising what you have done, and other things that you will need to know. For example, you need to print the output of a new line. You need to print the output of appended the line or append the new line after the output. So guys, now you can do the exercise yourself. As you see, now when you see these codes that you have written, they are not organized. There is a way that you organize codes. So it is what I'm going to show you now. You're going to start with things that help us to organize codes. So let's use using system. You see now, guys, this keyword, what it helps us. This keyword using tell the compiler which library or namespace your program will use. So then the system is a built-in .NET namespace that contains basic classes, and it gives access to things like console, as you have seen, string. You will see many things like maths and datetime. So now the next things that you're going to do is to create a namespace. Now you understand using system, using this keyword, using tell the compiler which library or namespace your program will use. So system is a built-in .NET namespace that contains basic classes. So now we are going to continue with the namespace. You see namespace, you're going to use let's use hello world. You're going to use this hello world. So this namespace, what it do, the namespace keyword is a container that organizes the code. This namespace keyword, it is a container that organizes your code. So it helps avoid the name conflict when programs grow large, and you can think it's like a folder for classes. This namespace hello world. This is a name of namespace hello world. It's like a folder of classes. So now have to write opening brace for namespace. This is opening brace for namespace. So it marks the start of the namespace block. So it marks the everything inside those braces belong to hello world namespace. Let's add the second brace. Everything, let me show something. Everything which is there, which is inside of this space, belong to the namespace hello world. So now what you're going to do is to write a class. So let's use the keyword class program. Now you see this is a class, and you have said the namespace is a container that organizes our code, or it helps to avoid the conflict when a program is done, and it works as a folder for classes. So after writing this class program. So first of all, a class is a blueprint for creating object. So in C#, every program must start or must have at least one class. So a program is a class that contains the entry point of the application. So now let's continue. I'm going to use the keyword of static. So static void main, and I'm going to use a string arrows. So after this, I'm going to open the braces also. So now what you have to know on this static void main string arrows, this is the most important line. So let's break down on it. So I'm going to tell you the function of everything. This is static method is the method belongs to the class, not an object. This belongs to the class program. So this void is the method that returns no value. It is the method that doesn't return any value. Then this main, as you see, is the entry point of a program. Then for strings out, it is a command line argument passed to the program. So now what you're going to do here is to write things that we need to print out. So let's use the console dot write line then let's use the hello world. So I think now what you have to know, console, it is a class from system namespace. Console, it is a class from system namespace. Then write line, it is the method that prints text and then moves to the new line. Then hello world, it is a text to display what you want to display on console. So now what you are going to do, you are going to run our application. Let's run it. You see, hello world. Guys, I tried to explain everything. So now what we need, we are going to move with other stuffs. So you're going to see how you can do a comment. So what you have to know, a comment can be used to explain C# code and to make it more readable. It can also be used to prevent execution when testing alternative code. So we have a single line comment. So a single line comment starts with 2 forward slashes. Any text between those 2 forward slashes and the end of the line is ignored by C#. when you say it is ignored, it will not be executed. So we are going to give you an example. Let me use this. Let me use this. This is comment from Anirush. So this is the comment. It is not going to be executed. You see, guys? So we have also a multi-line comment. So a multi-line comment is that if for the single slash with a star and end with star with for the single slash. So any text between them, it can be ignored. Let me give you an example. We're going to use, for example, single forward slash, then a star. Welcome to Anirush. And then you add star with a forward slash. Forward slash. So now we can learn everything which is inside the this line. Nothing is going to do. You see, when you try to run, no issue, because everything is between this and this. So now we are going to move on variables. So what is a variable? A variable are a container for storing data values. So in C#, there are different types of variables defined with different frameworks. For example, you can use int for storing integers, whole number without decimal, such as 1, 2, 3 or minus 1, 2, 3. So we can also use it in double. It is store floating point numbers with a decimal, such as something that you need to know. And the card is to store characters such as B and other things. String store text, then bool store value with two state true false value. 0 1. So now we are going with variables. So when you say variables, we have an integer for data types, variable, data type integer, double, char, string, boolean. So now, to create a variable, you have to specify the type and assign its value. Like you can type